In the past, we've seen bits and pieces of what 2K Marin has been doing with BioShock 2, but only recently did we get to go hands-on with parts of the actual single-player campaign. In the sequel to 2K Boston's acclaimed 2007 original, you play as a Big Daddy, which you can actually notice during gameplay if you get hit hard enough, which makes visible the rim of your viewing window. So while the gameplay is similar, it's got a few tweaks that make it feel different than what BioShock players might be used to. For one thing, you can simultaneously wield plasmid powers and weapons instead of having to swap between the two. This means you can be firing your rivet gun while blasting out electroshock bolts to take down enemies, which makes you feel a little more powerful. Like in the previous game, you'll find each of the weapons here have varying ammunition types. You'll also be able to combine plasmid powers and mixing elemental effects with your cyclone traps. The action is set 10 years after the events of the first game, so while you're still in Rapture, quite a bit has changed. There's a new ruler of the city this time around named Sophia Lamb, whose ideology contrasts with the city's founder, Andrew Ryan, in that she believes in the power of community and collective effort. You can see evidence of this type of thinking etched all over Rapture's walls, with a particular emphasis on butterfly imagery, indicating some type of rebirth, and an emphasis on some kind of religion. The Big Sisters, who we've heard about before, are soldiers for Lamb, meaning there's more than one. They're also the fastest, most agile, and deadliest enemies we've seen in the game so far, so encounters with them prove more challenging than the Big Daddy fights. Speaking of which, the game will still require you to battle Big Daddies to get at the Little Sisters, which in turn lets you power up your character. A new type of Big Daddy, the Rumbler, is meant to be a more defensive type, though he will blast out rockets. Smart use of the telekinesis plasmid can send these projectiles right back at him. There are plenty of other weapons too, a drill arm, a chain gun, and a crossbow that can pin splicers against walls. Those who played the first game may recall getting some help in battle by hacking security bots and turrets, and though that's in BioShock 2, the way you go about hacking has changed quite a bit. Instead of diving into a time-freezing minigame where you adjust pipes, this time you'll be doing something a little simpler. Hacking can actually be triggered at range, so you can shoot targets from afar, then participate in a simple minigame where you try to stop a moving marker on certain colored spaces on a meter. If you stop it in the blue sections, you can get a bonus that differs depending on what you're hacking. The methods of storytelling seem to be very similar, with the bulk of the dialogue being delivered through audio logs scattered around the world, and by keeping your eyes on what's written into the environment. The sections I played were familiar and fun, and seemed to be more action-heavy, particularly the sequences where you can defend Little Sisters as they extract valuable Atom from corpses. In these parts, you'll need to set up defensive perimeters, and shortly after the sequence starts up, you'll be assaulted by plenty of enemies, requiring you to use up a lot of your resources. How the rest of the game is paced remains to be seen, and I'm certainly looking forward to seeing more of how Rapture's changed in the coming months. BioShock 2 is currently scheduled to be released worldwide on February 9th, 2010. And for more information, you can check out all our preview coverage on IGN.com.
Look, it is the world for which you strive. You, alone among the dead.